It's another lady of the house kind of day, and today we are discussing organizing the kitchen. Welcome back, ladies. Today we are going to continue this series of organizing spaces, and it is in the kitchen today. I was able to design this kitchen, and this is an Ikea kitchen. So there are many different things about this kitchen that I really wanted and that I love, and it has served us so well. I really don't think there are many things that I would change about it as far as this space is concerned. Of course, there are little things here and there, but just not many things. And so it's really a pleasure to keep clean and to organize, and I especially love having all of the drawers because they really help with organizing this space. Now above, I have some glass cabinets. I didn't want any solid cabinets except for the cabinet that is above our refrigerator. So that just acts as extra storage, which we will not be getting into today. And really, when it comes to organizing your kitchen, you want to make sure that things are accessible for ease of use and that you really have those things that you use within the kitchen, that you use frequently. So I have a hutch, which is in our dining room, and that acts as a space to house a lot of extra dishes that I have, as well as a lot of the appliances and things that I don't use as frequently. So from time to time, I change out just what I am going to be keeping within this kitchen because it's a galley kitchen. It's a lot smaller. So sometimes some of the things that you would use within a kitchen just don't make sense given the season. So right now I'm not doing a lot of baking, and so right now I have all of the cookie sheets and everything like that stored in the hutch area or below the hutch. And that's because I really don't like to turn on the oven. As much as I can avoid that, I will. But I mean, it's really not that far for me to go. What I wanted to make sure to have was a drawer that I could put all of the leftover containers. Let's just say that. I have a drawer dedicated to that right now, and the mixing bowl, and just some things that I am not going to be storing up in the glass cabinets where I can see them. It's a little tricky when you are talking about glass cabinets and how to organize that space. And I change things often because I get tired of things. I want to just have a fresh look. Sometimes things can feel really cluttered. And just recently I went through my teacups. I changed where those were. Even within the last video that I have done in this kitchen, you would probably notice a few things have changed. And sometimes we just need that, where we look around and we can say that, well, this isn't working out well, so I'm going to change things around. So I'm just going to walk you through the areas that I have here, my line of thinking when it comes to how I've organized it, and then just give you a little tour around my kitchen. So let's start to the left of the sink in this cabinet here, which you are sitting in right now. This houses the drink containers that I use when we have gatherings, and these two came from Walmart, and they are a newer addition. I used to have some other ones, but then they broke, and anyway, I've made it to where I have some extra storage up above that can house some bigger items. And then I have some teacups here, as well as the coffee mugs, which have initials on them. And I found this to be very helpful, especially when we have larger gatherings. That way everybody knows whose cup is whose, and it just makes it a lot easier. And I don't always have to take out the Sharpie marker to write down whose cup is whose. And then I have a couple extra mugs as well. Underneath that is where I keep our utensils, and then also just the drawer below that I have all of the pots and pans. Now I wanted a space that I can just easily access these items. I used to have it right next to the stove, but this works out really well for me. And then I just kind of do the whole nesting thing with these pots and pans, and it's not the best, but it works out, and I'm able to condense everything down to this one smaller drawer. And it's really not that important to me to have a ton of kitchen things, like kitchen gadgets, kitchen pots and pans. The less I can have, the better. I try to make do with what I have. And sometimes I've just gotten rid of some things because I got really tired of trying to figure out where to put it. So if I can make do with what I have, I'm happy in that scenario there. Then beneath that, I keep those kitchen appliances that are unsightly, that I definitely do not want cluttering my counter. So this is a big one. If you feel that your kitchen constantly looks cluttered, it probably is. So what you can do is eliminate the frustration of having a cluttered kitchen by eliminating as much as possible on the counters. Only keep on there what you are using continuously throughout the day. If you are not always using your popcorn maker, do not put it on the counter. If it's not beautiful to you, I wouldn't put it on there either. For instance, right now I have my crock pot going because I am making dinner, but this is not something that lives on my countertop. We have very limited counter space, and it is very easy for this space to look cluttered if I have things all over the place. Not only is it a matter of clutter on the countertops, but it's a matter of just keeping a kitchen clean, which we all know that the kitchen gets messier probably than the bathroom does. So making sure that we are able to wipe things down easily, that we have plenty of counter space to be able to just wipe everything off without having to move everything because you have so many things on the counter. I mean, how often are you going to be moving if you have everything all out on your counter? How often are you going to be moving that to clean? And hopefully you're cleaning your counters every single night. So this little drawer, which is actually a deeper drawer, is so nice because I can keep those kitchen gadgets, the kitchen appliances that I don't want to have on my countertop. So the blender, the popcorn maker, we have a Belgian waffle maker, as well as we have an air fryer in there, as well as, let me look, what else do we have? Oh, toaster, yes, as well as the toaster. And the blender. Did I say the blender? So we have the toaster, the blender, the air fryer. All of those things we keep in there. And it's just so nice because everything fits. And as soon as we are done, we can just put all of those things away. It does collect a lot of crumbs for you. I cleaned them out today. No, it's just something that definitely needs constant attention. So if you follow the lady of the house method, then you know once a week it's a great time to deep clean your kitchen on the kitchen day, which is today. But you can pick from your whole list of things that need to be done, and you as the lady of the house know what things really need to get done. So if those crumbs in the bottom of the drawer have been bothering you, then you can just get those out. But having a space like this, I just know that, it's going to collect all the crumbs, utensil drawers, anything like that. They all collect crumbs. We don't know. We don't know why that happens, but okay, moving on, I have a trash can, which is hidden right in here, which if you have that option, if you are redoing your kitchen, that is one of the best things that you can have within your kitchen, is an area for your trash can. And then we have the sink. So underneath the sink, I have organized it in a way that just makes sense for me. I wanted to have a place for those cleaners that I use frequently. I wanted a place for the dish pods, and I used to have them in a glass jar with a lid that I would have to take off. It was like the longer I had it that way, the more I realized I didn't want them. I didn't want that in there. So I've since taken that out. I just use the container that the pods come in. And I know I love to decant things, but this, I am just fine with it being the way that it is, because the flap opens when you need it to, and then it closes right away, and you don't have to worry about wet hands or anything, unless you have wet hands when you put them in there, but don't reach for a pod with wet hands. Okay, then we also have a space for wash rags or washcloths, as well as the extra sponges in there. So what I have recently done, because I just went through all of my washcloths, I have white ones that I keep in the laundry room. That's for cleaning the bathrooms. And then I have the teal ones underneath the sink in here, because that is just for the kitchen area. And really, I just use just normal cleaner on there, multi-surface cleaner. I don't use bleach with those cloths, so they're not going to get ruined. They hopefully will keep their coloring. And then I have extra dish soap in the back there with the the rinse for the dishwasher, as well as a place for all of my tea towels, or just the towels that I use to, for our hands to dry things off with, and for the counter space. So having a dedicated space for these things makes it so easy to put those things away, especially after laundry day when I'm washing those items, and then also just to have a place for everything, so everything's in its place. Now moving on from there, we have the dishwasher right next to it. Let's go above. We have serving dishes on top, and then all of the plates and all of the bowls that I have. So everything's just kind of right there. I thought that this was a great place to put all of those, because it was right above my dishwasher, and those dishes are pretty heavy, and so I just thought, when you're putting things away like that, it's just nice to have everything right there. So this, I feel, is what we use the most of, and just makes sense right by the dishwasher. And then beneath that, I have the dishwasher, which I already said. And then to the right of that, we have spices, we have oils and vinegars, and all those kind of things that they get messy. And when you just need to clean that space out, you take everything out and wipe it all down, put it all back. It's just all of that stuff, all that messy stuff is right there all together. I used to have all of these cute jars for all of the spices, but after a while, it just doesn't work out. My husband doesn't like them. I don't have them all labeled properly, and it really makes it hard when you're talking about, things expiring and all of that. So now we just keep our spices within the container that they're in. And then we have the refrigerator. The refrigerator should be cleaned once a week, I would say, going through those items, making sure you don't have things that are old in there that can smell up your refrigerator, but also having those things within that can kind of help you categorize everything and keep things contained. I don't know where I got all of these containers that I have in there, but I do have some in there, and they have really helped with containing different things, and also limiting the amount of space that things end up spilling in, right? If you have a container that it's within, then it's just in that little space right there. So that's proven to be very helpful as well. But also, it just makes it easy to see what kind of things you're out of, what you might need more of, and just cutting things up as you go, like when you go to the grocery store and then putting them into the containers. This makes it so much easier to use those items, and then yes, and then for everybody to see what you have, and it not just sitting out on your counter going bad. So, cutting up the melon, cutting up or washing the grapes, just making things accessible and making sure that things don't get so stuffed in there that then you forget about them. So going through that refrigerator once a week makes a big difference, and also making sure that you don't have too many doubles of things getting opened. Right now I noticed that we have 2 ketchups in there that are open at the same time. So, just paying attention to that. I think I know why that happened, because we went out of town and bought something new. But anyway, so just going through that space, wiping it down makes, not that this is a cleaning video, okay, but organization is so much easier when we have those little categories. That way, when we do go to clean something, everything is contained. You're not having to do the entire thing if just one little space is messed up. So I find that to be very helpful. Okay, now we are turning around. We are going to talk about what is in the top cabinet here. I have things that I bake with. So all of my baking dishes, the measuring cups, I thought that it would be good to have all of that together. And then, just some powdered sugar, those things that I use frequently, like when I make the kids French toast, I want to have that powdered sugar available. So I have that there. I have some softened butter that we have a butter dish that I like to keep that in, and just have it accessible all the time. But I don't want it cluttering up my counter. So I have a little space in the cabinet for those things. And then I also have some sweetener there as well for coffee. Just the little things like that make a big difference, but it's not something that is causing a big mess. And then of course I also have another serving bowl right there. So I have some serving bowls right across from there, but then I had one in there as well. And then underneath that I have that rack where I can hang different utensils from. So we are very limited when it comes to drawer space, and I am one that likes to see what I have in there. I don't want things too layered. I don't want to have to dig for things. So hanging the metal ones up has been helpful for me. It's not something I've always done, but I'm enjoying that right now. And then the pot holders, those get hung up right now as well. And then below that, I have that utensil drawer for the bigger things. I have different categories for things, but the main thing is just that I can see everything that I have. Below that is kind of like a pantry, just a quick pantry stuff that we use frequently. Breads, little snacks, the onions, the garlic, the mixes, the seasonings too, just because we like to use that when we grill. So a little place for all of these different things, and all of these organizers I got from Ikea when we did get this kitchen built in here, because they fit within the drawers and they looked great. And I just love having those different categories in there. Having this drawer has made a big difference when it comes to organizing this space, as I've said. So I'm very thankful to have them and to have just had a say in the design of this kitchen. And then at the very bottom, we have a big drawer. This is the biggest drawer that we have. And this one contains all of those other pantry items that I like to decant. I purchased these containers, I think it was at the first house we bought. Yes, I purchased them from the container store, and I just love them so much. I've had them for years, and they're great for easy access of things and just keeping things nice and fresh. So having something to put all of the pancake mix in, I like to use the, just the ones that you can pour out. And I really need to relabel these. I think I've been saying this for months now, but I want to wipe all of that stuff off of there and either relabel or not label at all. but that is very old writing on all of my containers there. Anyway, so decanting things is helpful when it's those things that you're reaching for all the time. And I thought that this would be great in the drawer and not cluttering up the countertop. But that's just me. I don't like to always see all of this stuff out. The other thing that I was thinking I could do would be to put it up in the cabinet area, but we're just not there yet. And I think that this works out well. And then any cereals that we have, I like to put them in those containers as well. Right now I have 2 empty ones. I don't always think that everything needs to be full. I like the idea of us using up one thing and then opening something else, because what happens, especially with my family, is everything gets opened up and then somebody loves something so much more, so then the other stuff goes stale. So not everything needs to be open, not everything needs to be full. I think that could be an issue when you do have all of these containers, is you might think that you need to fill everything. But it offers, like when things run out, it's a good time to clean those items out completely, clean around it, just because so many hands have been picking them up. And then just, seeing what kind of things you can shop in your own pantry, maybe fill up from there instead of always replacing it. So that's just something that I have been working on myself right now. Okay, let's move on down. Now we are above the microwave at the very top. So I have recently changed places of where I put my cups, and a lot of that is because so many cups have broken now that we are pretty limited on our cups. But I have also gotten the kids plastic cups that I want them using every day, so we don't have like 20 cups out that I'm washing so frequently. You forget whose cup is whose, especially when they're all very similar. So I got them all their own plastic cups, all a different color, and they keep those right above the water cooler in our laundry room, in the utility room. And that's within a cabinet. That way the dust doesn't settle on it. But we'll get into that if I share with you the utility room. So now we just have a few. We have 6 of the pink ones that I found. I think those are Pioneer Woman from Walmart. And then I have a couple of dessert dishes that my great aunt gifted me, and I only have 2 left. I know that I began with 6, but now we're down to 2. And then 2 other cups that my husband really loves, and then the mugs that I received after my Grammy passed. So that is really what I have in way of like real glass cups. And then above that I have the teapot and sugar and creamer set, and I just have that together there. And then also above that I have some pitchers. So I'm using some pitchers in the refrigerator right now, but I like to have a spot for all of our pitchers, and we use those frequently. So that's something that I just wanted to have its own space for. Okay, below there I have a pitcher, which I keep the wooden utensils in. That's where I like to keep those. And then a basil plant. The cutting board is great just to quickly put behind there. I like that even after I wash it, it might not be completely dry. I just slide it back there. And when I go to wash the counters off, I always have to go underneath there. But just, putting things together like that makes it feel like it's more of a set instead of everything spaced out. And then I also have a little watering pitcher here, something that I can access very easily because I'm constantly watering my plants around my home. And then beneath that we have the microwave, and under that I have a drawer, which is where I now house all of the leftovers. Did I already go over this? All of the leftover containers, which I don't like to have too many of those. for instance, some would say, well, what if you have company over? Where are you going to put the items that you would give somebody to take food home? When I am going to be having a gathering, what I've decided to do now is just to purchase containers to send people home with. Things that I'm okay letting go of and that I never want to see again. Not because they're ugly or anything, but I really don't like to have those kind of plastic containers in my home anyway. I like the glass ones that I have, and just to be good with that. So that has been my solution for having a larger gathering, say potluck, Thanksgiving, anything like that. Having those ready so that I can send people home with them and let them know that they do not need to return it to me. So that is how I have this kitchen organized. If you are wondering about more pantry items, maybe I will be sharing that with you in tomorrow's video. We will see. But I do have extra pantry storage above my dryer. So a lot of the extra stuff we put in there, and then we also have that storage above the refrigerator. So mainly, to me, in a kitchen, it's about keeping things clutter-free, especially on the countertop, because we want our spaces to be able to be cleaned properly, so that, this is where we're preparing food. This is just a place that we need to make sure we keep up and we keep clean. So that's a big thing to me. And then also only having those things that you are going to be using. So from time to time within a year, you might want to just reassess all of your dishes and to see do you really use these items? Are they serving you well? Are they things that you're happy putting away? Is it easy to put these things away? If it's not easy putting those items away, I know for myself, those are the first ones to go, because I just want, when I put dishes away, for it to be very easy. When I come home with groceries, I want it to be simple to put things away and to have a place for everything. When I come home from the grocery store, I don't want anything left on the countertop for days, trying to figure out what to do with it. Only getting the things that are going to fit, and then also not feeling as though we have to fill every single little thing, every single container. So I really hope that this inspired you in some way. Please let me know in the comments below, what kind of things do you struggle with when it comes to kitchen organization? What is your favorite thing about your kitchen? Please let me know that in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really hope you're enjoying this series, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video.